I know for a fact that you are very bored with many people that you meet and that you know. They don't know it. You have found ways to look interested, but it's a big effort for you to relate to many of the people that you just meet or even that you know. It feels at times, maybe too much of the time, that you're wasting your time being with them. Furthermore, around many of the people that you know, you feel lonely. And that's unpleasant for you. You don't feel that the other person really knows you. You don't really feel the other person really deeply cares about you. You don't feel the other person really wants to get to know you. And you don't really know that person. Often, not just once in a while, but often, you feel isolated, alienated, and you have to wear a face that's not as genuine as you like to be. A smile, a laugh, you have to push it. You really like to be home reading a book or visiting with another person, but here you are. It could be a business relationship, a friendship, a romantic relationship, a boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse, husband, wife. This is a very common experience. You'd rather be on your phone sending texts out to people rather than being in this conversation. You'd rather take 30 seconds to send to this one, 30 seconds to that one. You just get to the bottom line. You feel in many of your conversations, why is this person going on so long? When is this going to be over? Very common experience. And the other person doesn't know it. But guess what? Many of the people you're around feel that way about you. When can I get away from this person? I can't keep this phony face up. I don't want to keep having to laugh at the jokes. They have that towards you as well, towards us. I'm going to show you how to deal with this, how to have a more productive life, because that's a squandering of your life. The greatest natural resource that we squander on this earth are words. The greatest natural resource that we squander and waste are words. We're saying things that are not that meaningful to us. We're hearing words directed at us that are not that meaningful to us. We're going on as if we're never leaving. It's like we're going to always be here because we've got all the time in the world. And of course, we know that we don't. Forcing yourself, you're pushing yourself to be around a lot of the people you're with. The title of today's presentation is How to Build Really Meaningful, Deep, Romantic Connections and Friendships. How to build really deep, meaningful, romantic connections and friendships. And this applies to business connections, friendships, relationship with your children, your nieces, your nephews, your aunts, your uncles, your spouse, whomever. Somebody you're dating. I'm Dr. Arnold Nerenberg. I've been licensed to practice clinical psychology in the state of California since 1974. I've been in the profession over 50 years. As I like to say to everybody all the wonderful people I meet, I'm 84 years old and I finally know what I'm doing. Most of the time, 99% of the time. Once in a while, if I don't know, I'll say I don't know, or I don't know. Everybody wants to feel respected 100%, whether it's a business colleague, a friend, a wife, a husband, a boyfriend, girlfriend, our children, heck, a cat, a dog. They want to feel respected. It's healthy. It's healthy for them to receive that respect. And to give that respect is very good for you. One of the thoughts you can be reciting, I call it one of the laws of honor, 3 times a day to help promote that to come forth from you. Extreme respect always. Extreme respect always. So one of the ways to build a genuine, a deep, meaningful connection to a business acquaintance or spouse, somebody you're dating, or just anybody. In a prisons, that's at a premium. The men and women in prison want to be respected. If you don't respect them, you're not going to like what happens if they don't feel respected. That's a fact. All about respect. So the thought to be reciting 3 times a day, because the repetition is preparation for application. Extreme respect always. Even if you have to say something to somebody you really don't want to say and they really don't want to hear, you can do it respectfully so that you're having respectfully real communication. That makes it more acceptable and builds a connection or a bridge. For example, if you're just being real and you say to somebody, listen, I want to be real, bro. I think you're stupid, ugly, never liked you, so I don't want to see you again. Get lost. Well, that's being real. Builds a barrier, big time. Respectfully real might look like this. Hey, when you said what you did, I felt hurt. I felt humiliated. If you could find it in your heart to apologize, I'd be so grateful. That builds a connection. So one of the key dimensions to building a deep connection, a meaningful connection in any relationship, when you feel it's appropriate, is the expression of vulnerability. I felt hurt. Now, you could cover up with anger, and I'm not saying you want to tell anybody you're hurt, but some people you'd be okay saying, that hurt my feelings. If you could apologize, I'd be grateful. The person is more likely to respond in a good way, to have more respect for your feelings, on knowing you more. Now, when you meet people, most of them don't want to know you deeply. You want to know them deeply. But most people do not even know how to go about even getting to know someone deeply when they want to. I've had the privilege of meeting the most wonderful, beautiful human beings anywhere. The most beautiful people. Now, as a psychologist, I can do this, but you can also do this with people that you already know. Say, what do I need to know about you for you to feel like I really know you? So that's one of the ways to start getting that connection. What would I need to know about you for you to feel like I really know you? I know for a fact, if you're one of my people, you might have heard it from me, but I know in your entire life you've never heard anybody say that to you, ever. A spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, date, friend, nobody's ever said that. Now, it's not something you can just say as a technique. It has to be heartfelt. When I meet the beautiful human beings that I meet, it's heartfelt. I really want to get to know you. And the connection gets really quickly formed. Again, this is not a psychology trick. It has to come from the heart. Another one you might want to be able to say, if you feel this, I really want to know you deeply. Please tell me your real struggles and vulnerability. Please tell me your real struggles and vulnerability. I can't know you if I don't know your struggles. You can't know me if you don't know my struggles. People hide that, but you can't get a real deep and a meaningful connection without knowing that. You don't even know how amazing the person is unless you know that. Say, wow, you went through that. You went through that struggle. You suffered like that. And look what you've achieved. Hey, you're amazing. I admire you. I respect you. You came from that and did this. Wow. So you can't just look at a person and be able to even know what it means that they're rich or what it means that they're even a drunk. Let's say you see a drunk man lying in his own vomit and urine in the street. Somebody might say, how disgusting, what a despicable human being. But hypothetically, if we knew that man, we might find out he was beaten and tortured every day of his life growing up. And he stays drunk just so he could protect people from himself, because if he wasn't drinking, he would kill somebody. So he's protecting all of us by doing that to himself. Now, if you knew that, you'd say, this is one of the greatest men on the planet. Wow, you went through all that. You're not being violent. You're destroying yourself instead of everybody else. I love you. I appreciate you. I admire you. I respect you. That would be the reaction if we could know what really that person's struggles were, what their vulnerabilities are. That's the key. People don't know how to go deep. You have people who are naturally deep people, deep emotionally, deep intellectually, or call them deeps or deeps that are deep both intellectually and emotionally. You have some of those people are honorable, some are not. So you have honorable deeps and dishonorable deeps. And you have people who are chats that want to just keep things light and easy. And they can have a good time and a pleasant time. But in terms of a real deep, meaningful connection, if a person's always at that level, it's difficult to form a deep, meaningful connection. Now, we found one study we did of 1,800 people that people really don't want to have always deep conversations. They don't want to have always superficial conversations. They want to have about 50-50, 50% of the time deep, 50% of the time light. Right now, most people feel they have deep conversations, maybe 5%. In this study that we did, let's see. They want 50% of daily conversations be deep. 71% of the people of the 1,801 participants, 71% prefer to have it 50-50. And it's not happening right now. It's just not happening. I'm going to give you some questions. I've already given you some to kind of start getting. And one way to also help the person open up is with self-disclosure. We say, I've been through this, I've been through that, I've struggled with this, I've been in bankruptcy, I've had broken relationships, and you go into all these things. And the other person goes, well, you're a human being like me. And that person feels more relaxed. They feel they can open up. Many of my lectures and with my wonderful patients that I see, I'll open up with some amount of self-disclosure, only because I want to make the people comfortable opening up to me so I can really get to know the people and help them. Now, in this study of 1,800 people, 56% were men and 45% women. Now, here's an interesting statistic from that. 87% of the people, 87% said they prefer a relationship with deep people of the opposite sex. They prefer 87% of all respondents, all participants. These are people being interviewed on the street. Prefer to have a relationship with a member of the opposite sex that goes deep. I'm sure many of you have gone out with attractive people of the opposite sex when you were dating, but they were just on the surface all the time. And after a while, you felt bored. As attractive as they were, which held your interest for a while. And after a while, you said, there's nobody here. That's the reaction. There's nobody really there to connect with. You got to feel there's somebody there that you can meet. And that can't happen unless you know their vulnerability, you know their struggles. Now, 70% of the people felt that deep conversation reduces loneliness. So loneliness you feel around many of the people you're with. 30% feel less lonely if it's a deep conversation. They feel engaged, they feel connected, and very often they feel uplifted by it. Uplifted. Now here's one that might surprise you. 84% of the people prefer to conduct business with deep people. 84% want to do business, so even good for a business relationship. You're talking some depth with the person, not just on the surface, in a way that's appropriate for the relationship, deep way. 84% of people prefer to do business with somebody like that. So this is when I say to you, how to build a really deep, meaningful connection, romantic connection, and friendship, or colleagueship, or business connection. Having a deep conversation, a meaningful, deep conversation, is very important. I'm giving you ideas about how to do it. You have people that I call chadeeps. They really want to go deep, but they chat all the time because they don't know how to go deep. So these are conversations you can have. A lot of these conversations I'm going to give to you here, or something you particularly want to do with a friend, or boyfriend, or girlfriend, or husband, or wife. These are good questions to be asking. You say, hey, what is the purpose of your life? What is the meaning of your life? I want to know. Let me tell you something. Nobody's ever asked them. The person you ask that to, unless they've been in therapy with me or one of our great people like Bert or Amber, we ask at every session, what is the purpose of your life? And just asking that, people, they'll say, gee, I never thought about it. Or they'll go, gee, no one's ever asked me that question. They're going, wow, this is so interesting. You really want to get to know me. I really matter to you. This time that we're sharing on the earth, however short it is or long, it matters to you. Well, that matters to me. And the connection starts strengthening, something to build on. So know how the person sees their purpose and see the meaning in their life. Another variation of that, what means the most to you in your life? I'd like to know, what means the most to you in your life? Somebody might say it's the children, job, their consciousness, whatever it is. And it might turn out you might feel, well, gee, you know what? That's what's most meaningful to me also. So there's a connection right there. There's already a connection that you wanted to know. Nobody else wanted to know. No one else has ever asked that. See, that's how I see my life too. That's even more. Certainly, the dating or friendship or boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse. How do you like to show your love? What is your love language? Some people, it's getting gifts, sending texts, getting phone calls, hugging. That's how I like to show their love. And okay, I like you. I'm going to do that. I'll send you the text, the calls. The other question is, once you go there, you can say, well, how do you like to not have love expressed? Some people tell you, hey, don't hug me. Just don't touch me. We're good, because there's a lot of huggers, especially in California. I'm one myself. But some people don't want to be hugged, don't want to be touched. That's good to know, especially you're dating somebody or you're married, you're talking to your spouse, and you've been hugging that person for years, and you find out they don't like it. It's a good thing to know. How do you like to have love expressed to you? And how do you don't want it expressed? Some people have said, I ask these questions in a questionnaire when people become my patient. Some people say, I don't want gifts. Don't give me any gifts. Some people say, don't flatter me. Don't say anything to me. Show me in action. So you don't want to be saying positive things. You want to show it in action, do something for that person. And then once they trust that you're sincere, then you could maybe share some words of affirmation as well. Now, in a more intellectual connection, what do you think are the main problems in society? And how would you like to improve it? What do you think are the main problems in society? And how would you like to improve it? It's a good thing to know about that. Because we all want to improve ourselves. We definitely want to improve our families. But you can't really be happy unless you're also beyond your immediate situation. You're looking at society. So, I'm concerned about this, and this. And this is what I think could help. And this is what I'm actually doing to help. You say, you're actually doing the things. You don't just talk. You go out and do it. You're feeding the homeless. You're actually going out there doing it. Or you're building shelters for them. You're doing it. Wow, you're volunteering your time. Now you feel that respect. Everybody loves to receive respect. And as good as getting respect, it's just as beautiful or more beautiful to feel that respect. So this is something that is a very good thing to discuss with certain people. Now, certainly in dating life, what are your views about family, about parenting? Yeah, especially in dating life. What are your views about family and about parenting, about children? If you want to have children, if another person says, well, to be honest with you, I've had bad experience with family. I don't even want to have any children. And you want to have children, well, it's good to know that pretty early, so it's a reasonable question to be asking, especially in a dating situation where you're getting to know it. You might find a person interesting, charming, funny, attractive, but you want to have children, and that's how you see the purpose of marriage, and that person doesn't want it. That's a big factor. You want to know that early. It's a reasonable thing to be asking. A question that you could ask a good friend, girlfriend, boyfriend, spouse. What have been your deepest struggles? How did you overcome them? And did they make you stronger? What have been your biggest struggles? Or you might even share your biggest struggles and what it did for you. Keep in mind, you can't really know another person unless you know their struggles. It's impossible. And by the way, without struggles and suffering, you cannot possibly achieve wisdom. You cannot possibly achieve compassion because you must go through suffering and pain, which we all do, to be able to achieve that wisdom, to achieve that compassion. And when people are willing to share that with you, then you go, okay, I'm not alone in this. I've been going through this. I have been going through it. I am going through it. You are too. So I'm not the only one who's been miserable. No, everybody's been miserable some of the time. Some people a lot of the time. But everyone hides it. That's why you get to feel that connection. You don't feel so alone. And more importantly, you don't have to pretend to always be happy. That's a burden to always have to pretend to be happy and always laughing. I'm not saying we want to burden people with our situation, but we don't also want to have to fake it too much of the time. And with a friendship, you could say, well, what is it that matters most to you in a friendship? What is it that matters most to you in a friendship? And what do you consider to be betrayal? It's really important to know that because you get old enough, everybody's been betrayed. Heck, we might have been the betrayers ourselves. But say, yeah, I've been betrayed, I've been hurt. You know, people come around when they want something, they use you, they look like they're friends, but as soon as they don't get whatever they wanted to get, they disappear. It's a good thing to know. That's their experience. Is loyalty important to you? That's an important thing. Most people aren't that loyal. But if you find, yeah, loyalty is very important to me. You go, well, it is to me too. Oh, now you have a basis of you can see the potential for longevity in a relationship. Loyalty matters to me. I'm a deeply loyal person. I can see it is to you. We can do business. We can be friends. Once we see that, if we're trusting it, very important. Most people, if you get very close to them, they will hurt you. They will be upset with something, have some negative reactions, and they'll take their anger out on you. You get very close there. At some point, you're going to hear something. You're going to see an expression, tone of voice that's going to be, wow, it's going to be painful. So you need to know, hey, if I get upset with you, I want you to know I'll protect you from me. I keep my thoughts, words, and actions honorable. I will not make you suffer for what's going on in me. I want you to know that I will protect you from me, and I won't turn on you. That's a good thing. If you know that about yourself and you're committed to that, that's beautiful. Now, most people don't even think to talk about that. But how can you really trust? You've been hurt in all your relationships. Somebody's always turned on you, done something you didn't like. And I know nobody's ever said to you, nor have you ever said to anybody, I will protect you from myself, from my negative thoughts. I won't speak harshly to you. I won't behave harshly to you. And if I do, as soon as I see it, I will apologize. I have no problem apologizing. That's another important thing to know in a relationship. Are you able to apologize? Yeah, I'm good at apologizing. And I hear some thoughts that facilitate apologizing. You repeat these at least once a day. I apologize. I was wrong. You were right. I'll never do it again. Please forgive me. I've not always lived with honor, but I will die with honor. Call those the laws of humility. Now, once somebody knows you're practicing this and you're doing that, they start feeling safe with you. That's important, to feel safe with the connection with somebody and that they can apologize. And then that the person won't forget their love. Most people who love each other deeply, at some point they turn on each other, they get mad at each other, and at that moment it looks like that person forgot he loves you. Or you look like you forgot that you love that other person. We all get to look like that guy, that woman. Yes, that's true. So one of the series of thoughts, the laws of love, reciting at least once a day. I love you. I adore you. I cherish you. I like you. I respect you. I appreciate you. I'll do anything for you. I'll always be loyal to you. Next to God, you're my first priority always. I use those thoughts. I recommend those thoughts. It's that way, even if you're upset with somebody, reciting those thoughts to keep the connection, even though you're upset. Or one of the commands of honor, I wish you well. Now, you're going to get upset, whoever you're with, business acquaintance, spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, child, parent, you're going to get times some negative reactions. You can't help that. Two types of thoughts, you need to know that. The thoughts that pop into your mind but do not define who you are. It's based on your genetics, family upbringing, societal norms. The second class are thoughts that you choose, which really defines you. So you could have thoughts like, I love you, I wish you well, extreme respect always. These are thoughts you can choose to recite. We have the power to do that. So we want to define ourselves by the thoughts we choose to have. So once you know a person knows himself, knows herself, and you start seeing these things, you start sharing the values, the trust develops, the connection develops, the admiration, the love grows. This is a power. So when I talk to you how to build really deep, meaningful, romantic relationships and friendships, building really strong connections, which is absent. Really always been absent. It's not a new thing, always been absent. But now, this is the inner technology of how to do it. We developed the outer technology. I mean, my goodness, we have computers and cell phones and rocket ships and all kinds of things on the outer world. But humanity inwardly is remaining at a very primitive Neanderthal level. This is really the inner technology to refine the inner life. And which way, by the way, each of these thoughts that I'm sharing is consistent with all the world's major religions: Christianity, Baha'i, Judaism, Islam, Hinduism, Zoroastrianism, Buddhism. It's consistent with all. So it contradicts no religious teaching, none at all. Well, so much more that we could be talking about right now in terms of this, but I don't want to go into too many right now because these are the good questions, ways to help navigate our own inner lives. And so it's been my pleasure to present this to you. Now, I want to open up to our wonderful, beautiful audience, people that are here, deep people, humble people. So I'm going to open up to see what kind of questions or comments you may have. Keep in mind, when you speak up, it's as important or more important than what I've said, because when they hear you, people feel they're not alone and they feel part of a beautiful community. So with that being said, I'm going to open it right now for your comments and questions.
Hey, Dr. Nerenberg, this is John.
John, always good to hear from you, John. Really.
You too, sir. I love the conversation we had today. I love the topic. I'm not currently in a relationship right now, but just learning new things every day and just hearing you speak definitely gives me ideas on how to start things or just make sure that I keep everything going when I do have a relationship or a marriage or whatever it may be.
And John, you have relationships, you have friends, or you got your mother, your father, cousins. Yes. So this applies to those relationships as well. So I understand you don't have a romantic relationship right now, and in time that will happen because you're a very beautiful, yes, deep, wonderful human being. It will happen. Well, I'm glad you're getting good ideas from this.
Oh, go ahead, sir.
No, please.
Well, I appreciate the topic today, sir. Everything, I'm going to keep that with me and make sure that I remember these things when I keep my relationships going.
It puts you in another dimension because people,
yes,
are not aware of this, and I'll be sending the videos out to everybody. It'll be on the website, so you can. I recommend you watch it and rewatch it and take notes on it.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir. It's going to help you for all of your life, not just now, when you're 50, when you're 60, when you're 70, when you're 80, when you're 90, when you're 100. It's going to always help you, this knowledge. And with this knowledge, you're going to see what's going on more clearly in society, of how people are not following these teachings that I'm sharing with you.
Yes. That's a lot of them.
And when you see it, you go, wow, no wonder there's so much misunderstanding and conflict and, well, warfare. I mean, ultimately leads to warfare. Very good, John. Well, thank you very, very much for speaking up, John. As always, I'm grateful to your input.
Thank you, sir.
You're most welcome.
Dr. Nerenberg?
Yes, Gisela.
Hi. I always get inspired by all of the things that you speak, so I just came up with something that can probably pertain to the subject. So repetition is a great preparation to continue our innovation, passion, and inspiration.
You always come up with these great ways of putting these things, kind of little jingles, harmonic devices. That's perfect. And that's exactly the point. You've got to be repeating the thoughts that I gave, the laws of humility, some of the commands of honor, the laws of love. So, the repetition. See, if you just exactly so, Gisela, exactly so. Because you hear this talk today, you say, oh, that's what a nice talk. I guarantee you, in a few months, you won't remember a thing I said. In a year, you dim memory. In 10 years, Dr. Nerenberg, who's he? Some variation of that. But these thoughts, if you're reciting it, and you keep it all your life, you repeat them 3 times a day, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, you still have it. And you'll be able to even pass on as a legacy of honor to your loved ones. Beautiful. Thank you for that. You're so creative. You're great.
You're welcome.
Creative.
I always get inspired by everything that you teach us, and I just come up with these things. And I don't know if you notice, I always rhyme a lot.
Well, you're a great rhymer, and you have some catchy stuff. If I could sing, I would rap them. I would start singing your stuff. I just can't do that. But some music, you could be reciting that. It's impactful. And that's why you're one of the great ambassadors of honor, one of the great ambassadors and sustainers. Thank you so much, Gisela, as always.
You're very welcome. It's an honor to be in this honorism movement.
Thank you so much. It is for me as well.
Dr. Nerenberg, Diego here.
Diego in Thailand. I'm glad to hear that the Thailand and the other country, Burma, is coming to peace with each other. I know you had some warfare going out there for a while.
Cambodia.
Yeah.
Yeah, they recently declared a ceasefire. So, hopefully they're able to keep their words, but pretty tense on the border side. Nothing going on here in Bangkok, luckily.
Yeah.
Thank you for checking in, though, sir.
Yeah.
So, Gisela, by the way, I love the quote. I agree. You know, I've always said that repetition is the mother of retention. You know, so it's all about that. It's just repetition is key. But Dr. Nerenberg, I really like the topics that you covered in today's session. They really resonated with me. And one of the things that I also like, a question that I like asking people when I meet them as well, when I want to connect with them in a deeper level, is I'll ask you just to kind of practice with you. But what I would ask is I would ask something along the lines of, when does Dr. Nerenberg feel the most alive in life? Like, what is it that makes you feel the most alive? You know, that's one thing I also like asking.
That's a good question. That's a good question. I would say one of the things that makes me feel most alive is doing these presentations. I get very alive from that. Just being with my wife, at times I feel very peaceful and very alive being with her. And sometimes going for a motorcycle ride does it as well. I'm 84 years old. I just recently bought a new motorcycle, a Kawasaki Vulcan, beautiful bike. My wife thinks I'm crazy, but I just get to feel very alive on it. You feel the wind and just feel that freedom. But yeah, so that's a good question to ask. And I think it would bring out some enthusiasm in people. That one that you've been asking, it's a very unusual question, a very wonderful question. But you know, the thing I always say is repetition is preparation for application, which can help you achieve stabilization. I've got that little jingle I've been talking about for quite a while. Same thing you said and what Gisela said, you know, these are all variations of each other. I like them all. Yeah, by the way, you're looking very buffed out. Are you working out much?
Oh, yeah, man. I mean,
I can see it. I see it.
That's definitely one of the things that I spend my time on here, just self-care. And thank you, Doctor.
I can see it. I can see it. Good job. Good job, Diego.
Hey, Dr. Nerenberg, and just another thing too is that as you were explaining and talking about all this, something crossed my mind here too. It's like maybe an exercise that I should do to myself, but I ask these questions sometimes to other people. You know, some of the things that you covered here today, but I can't remember when was the last time that I asked these questions to myself. You know, checked in with myself and just to see what sort of things like this, what are my answers to some of these questions?
Listen,
so that's probably something I should be doing here to myself.
Not only have you never asked yourself, nobody else has ever asked you these questions. You're asking others, but they're not asking you because you're such a deep, creative individual. That's one of the things I so love about you and respect about you is that you live in these domains. I understand. But you'll be a great teacher just by asking. Somebody go, wow, thanks for asking that. And I'm sure people go, wow, nobody's asked me that. So maybe they're more likely to ask somebody else that. So that's a great thing to ask. Some things you could ask early on in a relationship. What makes you feel most alive? Most people consider it socially inappropriate if you said, what do you think about life and death? You shake somebody's hands, hello, how you doing? Oh, what do you think about life? What do you think about death? Yeah, people go, do I know you? That's the reaction people have. But it should be normal in a society of deeps, which we're gathering the deeps in the honor movement. It should be normal to ask that right up front. Right now, it's considered socially inappropriate. But in a culture where we're emancipated from that and being our true selves, and by the way, part of the honor movement, teachings of honor, you have the right to be who you really are, as long as the expression of true self is in a respectful, real manner. So it would be in a society that we're moving towards with the honor movement. It should be very appropriate to go deep right away, and that should be considered normal, as opposed to having to just kind of chit chat for long periods of time. And I'm not against chit chat, but to excess, which happens so much of the time, is not healthy. Some chit chat is good, but But people want to balance. They don't want to do 100%. As a matter of fact, if as part of the study of 1,800 people, we found that if the superficial conversation goes on more than 5 or 10 minutes, people get agitated and anxious. It makes them agitated. Let me see, what percentage of the people said that? People get agitated or bored after 5 to 10 minutes of shallow conversation. 64% of the people reported that's how they get to feel. 64%. So I think they'd rather just go to their phones and send something that's meaningful to this person, that person, because they're getting agitated with this going on too long about what they think is nothing. Or they think they're just pushing themselves, forcing themselves to respond and pretend they're interested. So it's a lot of effort to pretend that stuff. A lot of effort. Yeah, and I whenever I talk to you, it's just a natural flow. We're ourselves. I don't have to push anything with you. I don't feel I'm pretending to be something I'm not. We just have that natural, easy flow because it's just coming from here. So you and I can just hang for however long and let that flow happen. That to me is the natural life. But it's not that common. You would think it should be the way of life, but it's not. So when you meet somebody like we met with each other, that's a beautiful thing. And it can become more and more of us as we bring the honor movement to the people. Honor to the people. Honor to the people. That's the theme of the honor movement.
Love it, Dr. Nerenberg. Totally agree with what you said. Definitely enjoy our conversations. Like you said, nothing superficial there. Just two people connecting, just naturally. So I really appreciate the connection that we formed, Doctor. Well, thank you.
There you go. When we're talking, any two people are talking. The reality is, we don't know how long you're going to be here. We don't know how long I'm going to be here. We don't know how many times we're going to even interact. We could lose touch. So these moments together have to be cherished. Cherish this time together. Because there's a lot of uncertainties and unknowns in life. You hear about so-and-so died, this one died. You watch TV, all these people were killed. It goes down. So you hear about so-and-so died. I never expected him to die when he's gone. So the time that we have together, we're on this earth at the same time. It's a great privilege. And there's so much beauty in each person. And we want to make the time count. We want to make the time count. And we can do that. Of course, it requires some authenticity. And it's doable, and that's what the honor movement's about. But thanks for that, Diego. Thank you. Who else has something?
Thank you, Doctor.
You're most welcome. I appreciate you. Who else has something you want to ask or say?
Dr. Nerenberg, I wanted to add on what Diego was saying.
Yes, Gisela.
I hope I'm right with what he was trying to say, but sometimes we're so focused on creating other people's life so positive that we tend to lose ourselves within it, and forget about our own selves and our needs and what we need. So we're so worried about making sure that everybody else is well taken care of.
Oh yeah. You want to make sure that person's comfortable. But if we're doing that, making sure you're okay, which is a beautiful way to be, beautiful. But if a person does that too long or too much, after a while, they're not going to want to be around those people. It's too exhausting. So for most people, self-care involves being authentic. If you're being authentic, you're not going to burn out. If you're being inauthentic in some way, it's going to knock you out. It's going to just knock you out because it's not a natural thing to do. You want to just want to withdraw, stay home, recuperate. You visit with this guy for 20 minutes. You did what you could for him. Now you want to stay home for 5 hours just to kind of recover, recuperate, and get yourself back again. So you need to have some way of being considerate, loving, nurturing, and at the same time, find a way for your own authenticity, your genuine connection, because that will energize you. So right now we're talking. You say, wow, guy's 84 years old. How come he's so enthused? How come he's energetic? Because I just feel a tremendous connectedness to everybody, and I feel I'm being authentic. So this energizes me. So I know I'm giving a lot to all of you, and what a privilege that is. But it energizes me. It doesn't rob me of energy. So the ways to give and be energized by it through depth, through sharing wisdom, through sharing inspiration, and through authenticity. That combination will energize you. And how I'm speaking with you now is a demonstration of it. Absolute demonstration of it. So I'm glad I could show you this, because you say, well, that guy's 84 and how energized he is, how so enthusiastic. I'm not acting. I'm not pretending. I didn't memorize some script. This is just a flow that comes from being connected to you, and then letting the natural propensities of wanting to give, my way of giving to you, my way of showing my love for you, and letting that flow out, and being grateful for the opportunity. So that keeps gratitude will energize. You're grateful for the opportunity to serve, grateful for the opportunity to know each other, grateful for the opportunity to share meaningful thoughts and ideas with each other. That's energizing. So you can do that. To me, that's self-care. That's self-care for me. And I think some others will also find self-care as well. Well, it's my pleasure, my privilege to present how to build really deep, meaningful, romantic connections and friendships. Thank you for this opportunity.